Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Rust Belt Collector here, and today we are taking a look at Imperial Crosshair from the Bad Batch. That's right, I actually got one of the Walmart exclusives, which I was not expecting to have happen. I missed out on Captain Rex. That did not go through at all, and this guy got pushed back a couple times, but eventually here we go. We got him in hand, which is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it to actually happen. I thought it'd get pushed back or canceled like everybody else's was. This is, of course, the brainwashed Crosshair in his Imperial armor. On the side here, we have the mural, which I think connects with Captain Rex. I could be wrong. I don't think it connects with anybody that I have in my collection currently. On the back, a little brief bio there about the character. On the side, that, and, you know, there you go. Standard Black Series packaging. We've gotten it before. I really do like this new mural thing. I think I've said that with every single video, probably. I think there's not much to say about the packaging. That's my point. So it's cool. It looks nice. I do love this deep color of red. I think that's my favorite Black Series color in terms of the colors that they differentiate between different shows and different series. I think that red is my favorite. But yeah, really nice packaging. Of course, I'm not going to keep it in the package because I'm not a monster. So let's, oh no, it's broken. Your Black Series figure is broken. I'm never quoting a TikTok meme again. You can quote me on that. I never will. I hate myself for doing that now. And there he is, all out of the packaging. He looks absolutely... Oh, he's not going to stand up. All right, fine. He looks absolutely sleek in this all matte gray armor. It's not too glossy. Whatever they did with either paint apps or just the type of plastic they used, they really nailed that kind of satin matte finish. The chest plate's a little bit glossier than everything else, but overall, it just looks so menacing. His Imperial armor definitely was one of my favorites from the show. I did love his Clone Wars armor, but man, you just can't help but love the look of this armor. Now, with that said, he isn't perfect, unfortunately. There are some issues that kind of stand out with this figure. The biggest one to me is his shoulder pads. He's not supposed to have his Bad Batch shoulder pads still. He should have something more akin to a Stormtrooper shoulder pad. So I guess if you're a customizer, you could go in and you could replace those. Maybe it doesn't bother you that much, but to me, it's kind of like a... Really, you went ahead and changed a lot of other things on this figure. Why couldn't you just change out the little shoulder pads? But again, this could be something that's based on some concept art, and when this came out, maybe there wasn't an updated version of the character. That's a very real possibility, but I don't know if that's really the truth. Now, in terms of accessories, he comes with quite a few things. He has his sniper rifle. This is the same one that we got with the standard version of Crosshair. It does break apart here at the barrel. There we go, just like that. And then this can be stored in his backpack. Mine got a little bit warped in the packaging, but you can kind of wedge it in there just like that. And then the barrel pegs onto the side just like that. And that's a really great way to be able to store it. I like that. It's a cool feature, play feature if you want to talk about it like that. It's just cool. And then here on the side, he still has his DC-17 pistol holster, which he did have on his Clone Wars version, so you can have him, you know, hold that in case you want him to be wielding a sidearm instead of the sniper rifle, maybe. One of the drawbacks, though, of this belt design is that it really just doesn't want to sit right. It's a little bit warped, I think, and with the holster, it just, well, there goes the barrel, but it just doesn't want to sit on his hips properly. I've already seen some people say that they're just going to glue theirs in place, and I don't really want to take such a drastic measure, but it might come to that at some point. If it annoys me enough, I will go ahead and just glue it. Something cool and unique with this figure, though, is he's got his little mirrors there on his belt attached there. We did not get that with the previous version. He just had the holster and the shoulder strap. I don't know if he had it in both, like I don't know if he had it in the show on his Clone Wars armor, but it's cool. It's cool either way. I like seeing that little detail added in there. And then, of course, he does have a removable helmet, which does qualify as an accessory, though. As you can see there, it's quite a tough fit. This helmet is made out of a little bit, like, I don't know, stiffer plastic than the previous Bad Batch helmets, so it does go on a little bit tough, but man, does it look cool. I mean, this really does mimic the classic Death Trooper that we first saw in Rogue One, especially with those green vents there and the green visor. Obviously, that's what they're going for, kind of a proto-Death Trooper, but it just looks so, so cool. It blends the Stormtrooper and Clone Trooper armor together so well. It's such a cool design. I can't get over it. And yes, this little antenna can flip down in front of his eye, and that just looks so sick. I really do love his armor, his Imperial armor. It looks really good. And yeah, I mean, just look at that. That is such a great figure. Just a great design overall. I know it's kind of monochromatic, but I am kind of a sucker for those like Shadow Trooper type designs where it's just a an all black or an all gray clone trooper or stormtrooper, because they just look menacing. You know, they're going to be like stealthy, they're going to be spec ops or something like that, something that really is more elite than your standard clone or stormtrooper. But that might just be the little kid in me kind of welling up, because I remember making a lot of custom troopers like that growing up, so maybe that's the reason. But either way, this figure is really, really cool. And I did forget to mention here on the backpack, it uses the same, like the little T-peg there, so this could be interchangeable with all the other Commando backpacks, with Bad Batch as well as Commando Boss. And it is nice that they actually painted that little data pad there, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. They didn't paint it on the original backpack, so it's nice that they did on this one. Now, between the two Crosshair figures that we've gotten so far, there is more reuse than there are new parts. The only two new pieces on the Imperial Crosshair are his upper torso, which is a completely new sculpt. You can see some of the detail going on there is quite different from the more Republic Commando style that he had before. And then his belt, it's just slightly modified to have the little mirrors on the back and to not have this shoulder strap going on. Apart from that, the legs, the arms, the shoulder pads, and the head are all the same. I'm not sure if I'm really upset about that, at least for the legs and the arms. The biggest thing is still the shoulder pads. I wish they would have just swapped those out. I think that would have been very simple. In my mind, I'm not a toy maker, so maybe it was super complicated and it would have cost billions and billions of dollars, but I don't think that that is the case. Either way, a small little modification, just painting up some Stormtrooper shoulder pads or just cutting this spike off of the shoulder pad, could work either way, and it would still look really nice as a Crosshair, an Imperial Crosshair figure. I think it's cool. Again, these figures are two of my favorites from the Bad Batch series as a whole. Crosshair was definitely the highlight of that show in terms of characters and character development, to be fair. I love his character, and I love his armor sets, both of them. So really excited to have this figure. Really glad that Walmart came through with that pre-order, got this into my hands, and I was able to finally get it as a review here on the channel. And I suppose before we wrap up this video, we should talk about articulation. Even though it is the same as what we've gotten with the first one, we'll still talk about it. It still should be addressed, especially if maybe this is your first introduction to a Crosshair figure. You never know. So, double ball joint at the head, lots of good motion there, side to side, forward, straight up, as well as a hinge and swivel at the shoulders, so you can go all the way around. The shoulder pads do actually kind of travel with the arms, which is a really nice design. Up to there, which is really nice on the hinge and swivel. Then a single jointed elbow that hinges you to just a little past 90, swivels all the way, took the arm with it, but swivels all the way around just like that. Then at the hand, we have a hinge and a swivel, so a swivel all the way around, in and out on the left hand, up and down on the trigger right hand. At the torso, we have a ball joint, so side to side, forward crunch, back crunch, and yeah, again, really nice articulation. All of these new Clone Trooper mold bodies are really solid in that area of articulation. Maybe they're missing some elements of sculpt and accuracy, but you really can't say that the articulation is lacking. And you know, now that I'm looking at this torso, I'm realizing that it's actually the same torso. It is the same torso. All that they have done is retooled it somehow to add in that little line work there with the little square on his chest. Apart from that, even the damage, even like the grooves and the scratches and stuff, it's all identical. So this is a complete reuse with just a slight retooling on the chest. I'm not upset about that, that's not a big deal, but I just wanted to make note of that before we moved on with this video. Okay, so back to articulation. At the hips, we have the ball joint and the thigh swivel. Outwards is really good. You can get forward, pivot that thigh around just like that. He can sit down. You can also bring it back to pretty much just vertical. But then at the knee you have the hinge and the swivel, single jointed, so you can get it crunched to right about there, which is still very, very workable. The nice thing with these knee joints is that you can really get a nice crouching position with them, although with these clone troopers and that weird decision to attach the knee pad to the thigh, I will never understand that, but they did it, and it's a thing. So, you know, you can cut these off and glue them down here if you prefer. I haven't done that with my figures yet, but regardless, you can still get a very nice crouching position with this new mold. And then down to the ankles, you can point it, you can crunch it to there, and then it does have the side-to-side rocker. So it's really nice. The only drawbacks that I have that I can see at least are the shoulder pads, and with all of these clone trooper molds, it's this stupid decision with the knee pads. Still a great figure, still very, very cool, very menacing, but yeah, some of those little like quality of life decisions that they made, if they just tweaked those, these would be the perfect action figures in my mind, especially for the clone troopers. I think the Stormtrooper doesn't really need any improvements to its current mold, but the clone troopers, they could just use a few small little tweaks and then they would be absolutely perfect. So there we have it, the Imperial Crosshair figure. And actually it's Crosshair with Crosshair, kind of a weird crossover, if you will. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. That's where we're wrapping up this video. So yeah, as always, link down in the description. You can check out my Instagram, my Facebook. I try to post like toy updates there as well as my toy photography, so be sure to check that out. There's also a link to Entertainment Earth in case you want to order or pre-order any upcoming action figures. If you do that, it helps out the channel. I appreciate that. And as always, thank you again so much for watching, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you have a wonderful evening, noon, or night, depending on when you are watching this. Be kind to one another, and as always, I will catch you all in the next video.